Yo, yo, yo. Third day in a row. Third day in a row live. See if we could get in here. What do we got? I wish I could see. Paulie the Betrayal Walnuts. What's going on, Zine? Yo, Arthur, what's going on? Soft Drinks of Choice. I like that name. Oh, hop along, Quesadich. The Brigands and Burjol. Hey. Alright. No, I didn't finish the song yet. I gotta perfect it. I'm a perfectionist. It's gotta be good. Watched some more clips since the last live. I did 2 lives, one yesterday and then the day before yesterday on my other channel. Yesterday was good. We were talking about Mexico. I learned a lot of stuff. My friends over there. I appreciate that, man. What's your favorite clip, Zim? Mexico. I want to go there. I'm not watching Breaking Bad. I can't. It's not my kind of show. Yo, Big Tuna. Where'd you get that name from? Don't tell me what to do, Siri. Bolko's a friend of ours. Yep, Big Tuna. Tony Accardo. What year is that? North Americans. Wait, what? I mean, Mexico looks nice, you know? It's cold and dry here, yeah. It's raining a little bit. Podcast for Johnny Sack and how he's spreading his talents. Whatever happened to Gary Cooper? That's what I want to know. PAL? Oh, where are you from, pal? New York. And you in Chicago? No, not Jersey. I'm in Jersey right now, but I live in New York. Rochester, yeah, I know where that is. How is Rochester right now? I heard Rochester's there's a lot of bad spots. Is that true? No, I don't have any of those jackets. Oh yeah, and interns. Damn. Is it ghetto over there? Think on this, Burger Boy. Borko's a subscriber from owning all in North YouTube, and I'm that subscriber. That's true, Nick. Everywhere is a ghetto if you think about it. Yep. Some just have more cops. Glorified security guards. That's what I call it. It's the jacket. You love that jacket. You and my kid brother, you would have killed for that jacket. It's a nice jacket. Yeah, that's like over here. The rich and the poor, 2 blocks away. Things are good, I grant you that. Big tuna, stay home, clip your coupons, be a happy man. That was a big jacket. No, I think Tony made it look like a small jacket. No problem, Deacon. I gotta make another one soon. I had so many videos I deleted, man. When I thought they were gonna whack me on there, I deleted so many. I'd have over 200 million views if I didn't do that. Jerry, what's going on, Jerry? You got any questions? I'll take your questions. My soft drink of choice, probably a Coca-Cola or a ginger ale. That check, it was meant for Bobby. Nah, just straight up regular Coca-Cola. Johnny O, cakes? Talk to me about what? That was funny, man. You guys are funny with your shit. The Sopranos comments, man, they have me crack up. They're the best comments on the internet. What kind of comments, what kind of quotes do you guys say in real life to people from the show? Yeah, you know, the way you tell a story and everything. What? All right, so I just pinned a link to the Discord. It's the Sopranos Discord. It's Borko's in there. I'm in there. Everyone's in there. Join it. We need new blood in there. Yep. Chess is saying everything correct. That's Leo, by the way. You guys know Leo. I want to see some earners in there. You guys see the pin link in the chat? You say the DVD line. Watch Grumpy Old Men. What does he say back? Did he catch the line? You call parade floats. That never had the makings of a varsity athlete. He don't get it. That's funny. He probably looks at you like you bots. What's going on, Arthur? What'd he hit you with, Nick? Chris the Canopy Multisante. I told you Vito's medication. They shouldn't touch it. That's what they're doing these days, these kids. A pool cue? Was it chalked? Junior said that quote. I'm waiting like patience on a monument, waiting for discipline to be handed down. Yeah, if it was written today, it would have been. They would have mentioned that, like, yeah, I got a prescription from Pfizer with all that product placement. You always saw the Dunkin' Donuts cups and the Coca Colas and the orange juice with shum pulp. No, I don't make rats. Yeah, no show job is you get paid for not showing up to the job. No work, you go there and you don't do anything. Sean did it on spec. That no show job, yeah. What not to put in my lunchbox? Big Tuna, you let them do that? No, that don't count. The news does that. They'll pin it on who is the enemy at the moment. You guys see the link though that I pinned? Well, how many times did you watch the show? Between watching it and then making compilations, forget about it. You should try sitting here from 10:30 to 3. You're breaking my heart. Is that what it is in French Canadian, though? The only one that could make high-speed internet sound illegal. Benny Fazio, criminal mastermind. Was anyone in my live last night on the other channel? How old do you think I am? And then I'll answer. I don't know what you're speaking. Whatever happened there? Voice says early 30s. Close. Mid 30s. Yeah, the side character videos. I love doing those. I'm doing a Boardwalk Empire one next, I think. No, I'm younger than Joe Budden. I used to listen to Budden back in like 2004, 2003. Yeah, the oh shit guy. I see that brought up a lot on Reddit. If you like The Sopranos but not Breaking Bad or The Wire, will you like Boardwalk? Yeah. Boardwalk has a lot of Sopranos characters. You got Junior Sopranos in it. He's like he's a minor character, but still he's in it. You got Benny Fazio in it. Um, Obviously Steve Buscemi, Chalky White, um, who played Omar in The Wire, and then he was on The Sopranos too. Who else was there? The guy that plays Lucky Luciano, that was AJ's friend in The Sopranos. Joe Budden used to be a good lyricist, but then, I mean, I don't know what he's doing now, but yeah, he used to be. Yeah, Dominic Chianese, I think he's 94. I don't know. Something about Breaking Bad, man. I just never got into it. Christopher. Yeah, Jerry Adler. Last time I talked about him, and then he died like 2, 3 days later. He was, yeah, 96. Already the a la carte buco. Anyone in here watch Gamora? Who else did I forget that's in Boardwalk and it was in Sopranos too? Greg Antonacci that played Butchie. He's Johnny Torrio. That was one of my favorite characters on that show. Anyone watch Battle Rap by any chance? I ask because December 6th, Cassidy's battling again. Easy the block captain. Jerry, where'd you go, you prick? He's always doing the Irish goodbye, that guy. Oh, so let's see. Yeah, so Buttons, he started doing podcasts and shit. I saw that Hollow battle with him. Um, did the David Chase and Michael Imperioli written film ever drop? I don't think so. I'm not sure. When Artie with the rifle, that was one of the best scenes. Is Daylight still around? Yeah, Daylight blocked me. No, I'm not Irish. I'm Italian. Don't ever call me that again. I sound like Matt Bevelonk. Are you kidding me? The fuck out of here. Oh, because I'm talking about battle rap? It's Cassidy. I got to talk about him. Daylight's good. It's just his antics were stupid. And he can't beat luck, so he shouldn't even try. How hard is it to rap? If I mean, it's not hard, but it's not easy. Some of these guys, what they do with their metaphors and similes and double entendres, triple entendres. Why did Daylight block me? Because I was talking shit and he didn't like what I was saying. He's annoying. He's a troll. Chris says someone needs to make a series or a long movie about the Philly mob and Nicodemo Scarfo. The book by his nephew is incredible and it would be guaranteed hit. Yeah, so I've talked about this many times where he's too old now, but Frankie Valli should have played Nicky Scarfo. They really missed out on that. If the late great James Gandolfini, who would have played Tony Soprano? If he didn't pass away, who would have played Tony Soprano? Probably Michael Rispoli, Jackie Sr. No, I'm on my phone, so it's like the letters are small. Yeah, the mayor of Munchkinland, he would have been a good Scarfo. He looked like him. Put a side by side picture, you'll see. Plus, he was short. He would have been a good Scarfo. They do. They need a movie about him. Him, Tommy Karate. Who else? I don't really want to see any more Joey Merlino stuff. I think we're done seeing that. Did I like the ending in The Sopranos at first when I first watched it, when it aired? No, I didn't like it. But then as time went on, I appreciate it. Because I don't think people would be talking about it as much today if that ending didn't happen. All right, Christopher, I appreciate that, brother. Richie Aprile was going to be Tony, but they picked Gandolfini because he looked intimidating. I didn't hear that. I know Richie Aprile, they got the idea for him because Michael Rispoli, Jackie Sr., said um, in season 2, let him have a twin brother and then he'll come back and shit. But that didn't happen. Instead, they brought Patsy instead of Philly Spoons. So I wonder if Michael Rispoli never said that. I wonder if there would have been a Patsy. I appreciate that, Malloy. 50 Cent will reach out to Merlino. I mean, 50 Cent's a businessman, so you never know. But what would Merlino say to that? We don't know. Because Merlino got his thing going on. Yeah, it was Jackie Aprile, not Richie. Yeah, he would have been a Tony. And the reason why they got rid of Michael Rispoli early, I think, is because they didn't want him to outshine James Gandolfini. Because he would have done it in the beginning. If you had Jackie Sr. for like a season or two, he would have outshone all of them, maybe. Richie Aprile was like one of the most, like, definitely intimidating. And I would say, as far as Mafia wise, Paulie Walnuts, obviously. But Richie, too. There's guys in real life like Richie. Yeah, he was in one season. It felt like he was in two. Oh yeah, when Tony was screaming at Silvio. Have you know have you known of African American Cosa Nostra with Sicilian fathers? Not back then. Not back then. So way back, in late 1800s, early 1900s, you had to have Sicilian blood 100% to be in Cosa Nostra. Then it changed to you had to be fully Italian. Now forget about it. Now they make anybody and everybody. And the way that they do it, it's all fucked up. Guys don't get their fingers pricked. There's no sword and gun on the table. Either it has meaning or no meaning. Oh my God, Little Italy is like a half a block now. It used to be long. Now it's like a half a block. I could walk like maybe 200 steps and I'm in Chinatown. Do you think mothers are like bosses? Like they leave you and they continue? What do you mean by that? I don't get it. Oh, but I don't know what you're trying to say, brother. Yeah, they did reference it with Butchie. The Westies were with the Gambinos under Paul Castellano, but they weren't Cosa Nostra. They just used them for business deals. They were a gang. Oh, before I was born. Yeah, I mean, I know a few instances where those kind of things happen, and they would just come to America. Yeah, I want to see a movie with the Canadian mob. That would be crazy. In the Sopranos interviews, do I find Melfi annoying, the actress? Um, Not really annoying. Nah, no, I don't find her annoying. Yeah, a lot of them are in Montreal or in Florida. She probably was drunk. She probably was. Yeah, they're all over Canada. I wonder why. I don't know if it's because of the laws they have. There's no RICO laws. So as far as that, because what other reason to be there? They're not. It's not what I heard. Yeah, friggin' David Chase, he went overboard with that scene. I don't think they could pull that off in 2025, 2026. This era. Can't make scenes like that. Yo, yo, what's going on, brother? Mr. Aledro? Yeah, they're there. That whole thing with the risottos. I wonder what's going to happen next with that. Yeah, Chase is just a weirdo, man. He's coming out with something too soon about what, like MK Ultra shit? Something. Nah, Zim. That's the last thing I would want to see. The only art with that is the end of that episode, which we all wanted her to tell Tony, and then she doesn't tell him. That part was art, yeah. So he made that scene for the last scene of that episode. Shows like Billions. I haven't seen that show. Yeah, the Mexican shows do stuff like that. Damn, looking real like that. Nah, man. Hell no. I don't know. That sounds sketchy. That sounds real sketchy. What other shit's coming out soon? We got the Gamora prequels coming out in January. I think we have to wait a year for Resurrection 2, Dexter. House of the Dragon's coming out soon, right? Yeah, I heard Lorraine got hurt during that scene. Like she got bruised up for real. Who would? Yeah, I wouldn't sign up for that. I think she was the third highest paid in the show. Gandolfini and Edie Falco. I forget how much they were making I think Gandolfini was like getting $1 million an episode, And Edie Falco was getting like 800,000, 700,000, something like that. And then Lorraine, I forget how much she was getting. If you guys were acting, who would you want to be on that show? You think you could handle being number one? Guys like Gandolfini, you're not sleeping at night, you're just working 18 hours. You're not. He was like sleeping on the corner, like on the floor and shit. I could never do that. They overworked them, right? Was that the that therapist in that one episode, the Jewish guy, when he's like, "I don't accept blood money"? Yeah, I would probably want to be like somebody in New York, but not like a main character. Maybe somebody like Butchie or something. Somebody from New York. Maybe Johnny Sack. It would have been fun to play somebody like Little Carmine, having to say them stupid words and shit. But I wouldn't want to be like the main actor. I liked Butchie. I liked the actor. That's why I think. Because look how he played in Boardwalk Empire, Johnny Torrio. He could sell it. He could sell it. That's how them guys look. They look like that. Well, they did look like that. No, I would want to be like Carmine Senior. Actually, I just thought about it. Not having to say much. You just sit there. You're drinking your cup of cappuccino. You let the guys talk for you. That's what I would want to be if I played a part. Yeah, Butchie was a gangster. I don't know if Little Carmine was playing dumb or not. I think he was dumb. Everyone said he was smart, but I think he was so stupid that he just made it to the end because that's how stupid he was. Oh yeah, when he confronted Tony, we gotta stop meeting like this. Chris was in a shitload of episodes. Yeah, everything about Chris is spoily brat. If it was the real life, he would have been dead the first episode. Yo, Wookie, what's going on? Yeah, that actor, man, he was really great, Greg Antonacci. What about Phil? You guys liked Phil? I don't think that whatever happened there was. I don't think he did that on purpose. I really think that he was just so stupid. Uncle Philly is a hero in this house. Yep. The scene where Butchie is talking on the phone and before you notice he left Little Italy is very telling. That was a great scene, man. So he's walking through Little Italy and all of a sudden he's in Chinatown, like we were talking before. That time's changed. Even Agent Harris, what did Agent Harris say? He was like something about like the storms or something, or the apocalypse or something. Some people are out there stuffing themselves. Yo, Lawrence, Frank the Tank. Damn, we're gonna win this thing. Yeah, that was a true Agent Del Vecchio in real life. I forgot who he did that with. I made an episode on that. If you've watched the Cavalcante family, the real Sopranos, on my second channel, we broke that down, me and Pete. Yeah, he blackmailed the. I don't know if he blackmailed the female cop or he just got information from her, but something similar happened in real life. I don't know if it had to do with a gas pipe Casso or something. Something happened where an agent said that. I'm in no position to go in the unknown, unknown. Hey, remember me, Larry Boy Barisi? What's up? You got enough to eat? Yeah, and House of Cards. Yeah, the other guy, he was in there. Is Phil Leotardo here? Because I can't be in the same room as that man. There he is, not a day over 76. Do you know where that originated from, Nick? Cap? When Doc tells him, he sings that song to him? He, I think that was a gay reference, that song. NPC, thanks. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, Wookie, I think it was a hidden message because that's what Chase does, and the whole closet thing and him gripping the bed. That was just weird, but I don't know. I don't think Phil was going that way. Hey, Ro. Yeah, I don't know. What else we got? What do you mean that double speak? Yeah, as soon as Doc ate off his plate, it was over for him. He's like, "Do you mind?" Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. That was like a boss move he pulled. The one that just happened with the whole basketball thing, Wookie. They were rigging the games, and they had underground. They had poker games going on. So the people are gonna do some time with that. Yeah, that happened like what, a week or two ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It just shows you they're still around. Yeah, Frank Sinatra Jr. And then Lawrence Taylor was in the other card game with Feach. When he was like Sir Lawrence from the Meadowlands. Because he played with the Giants. Oh, who said that again? Was that during the Features card game? Yeah, I think so. So what's the difference between YouTube Premium? Is it just a no ads thing? You could download shit too, right? And watch stuff offline. The deleted scenes, I remember I posted all of them and then they took it down, but I understand some of them. Like the one with Paulie and Tony when they went into the store and Paulie was going to get him that cheap beer because it was on sale. That scene was a little cheesy, so I understand why they got rid of that. Um, the one with Bump and Sarah when he's in the whole with the feds, I think they left that out because they wanted the episode where when he's on the boat for Tony to find the tape, leave us guessing like with the because if they showed that in the beginning of season one, it would have been a little different. Then there was a Melfi scene when she's talking about like the mayor and shit. I don't know why they got rid of that. Oh yeah, the advertising. No ads, can leave, can download, but also listen to peculiar stuff with phone. Oh, okay. I didn't watch Breaking Bad, but as far as Dexter goes, Showtime already did basically what I would have done anyway. Like they posted every scene with the Dexter and Dokes, and they did all that. They learned. Bold men make bold statements, Nick. What's mightier, the pen or the motherfucking sword? Yo, man with a plan, what do you think about Resurrection 2? What do you think's gonna happen? Did I watch Resurrection? Yeah. Oh, all right. No, I didn't watch that. My favorite horror movie. Um, I liked Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one. I don't know if that's my favorite though, but one of the Hellraisers was back in the day. I was scared of that. The Exorcist, the old one. Um, Nowadays I don't like any of them, but from what I've watched, those three come to mind. And then what was that one based on in Long Island, where it was supposedly a true story? What movie was that? Anyone know? It's better than The Sopranos. Yeah, Amityville Horror. I like that movie. Amityville Horror. Yeah, psychological horrors. I like those better too. I like psychological movies like Donnie Darko. That was a great one. That wasn't a horror, that was just a psychological thriller. Horror. Horror. I don't know. What am I supposed to say? Horror? Horror? Wu Tang movie? We Came for a Dream? Yeah, could be. What? I don't know. I have an accent. Where am I watching that, Nick? And it better be good. Shutter Island? I didn't see it. I gotta see that. That's on the list. Saw 1 was good. I liked Saw 1. After that, it started going to shit. Why are you making fun of Cameron for? Jewel's Dip Dip, Santana Set Set. Don't make fun of Cameron, bro. Yo, Savage, you do audits, bro? I better click on your name later and see you doing audits. Yeah, Dipset had it on lock from like '03 to like '07. Oh wait. Yeah, I always like Dipset better. Cameron's still coming out with good shit. Yeah, in Manchester. I heard some of the albums. I heard, some of the songs. You might have sent them to me, right? No, I don't think it was a bad school. It was just like get him out the hood. Harlem's not that bad. I like Harlem. No, PS is public school. Like there was a PS 22 by me, and then there was a PS 22 by him. $20 in the can. Is anyone in Borko's Discord? We need new members in there. Oh yeah, when Adriana gets whacked. I didn't mind that. I didn't care for her after that. I felt like Tony did. I'm like, yeah, whatever. She was a liability. Did I build him a ramp? Well, she did make one of those accounts. Some weird shit. Yeah, Cardi was in Brooklyn. I don't like Cardi B. Do you guys see his link pinned in the chat? Join the Discord. Tell him I sent you. Oh, Playboy Cardi. I thought you were talking about Cardi B. I remember when Cardi B was just a ring girl for battle rap. She started off being a ring girl, and then all of a sudden she was making music. I'm like, what? This shit is trash. I forget what show she was on. I don't like her. No, I don't like that kind of music. No, there's some good music without instruments. I mean, without. No, I said that wrong. Besides instrumentals, Wu Tang had so many good hits. Uh, there's a lot of people. Cormega, Nas. Oh, you showed your students? Which ones? Yeah, Baltimore is worse than that. Some people from Baltimore hit me up and they told me they're like, The Wire is it's way worse than that. Like they just see whole bodies in the streets. My favorite rapper now, uh, my favorite rapper now would be, oh man, I don't know. I gotta go with somebody in Woo or something. Their perspective would change for better or for worse, but money is now that equals power in America. Uh, they want you to think money equals power, but it's not. Cheap debt equals power. Yo, Freeze, I appreciate that, bro. Cardi, Johnny Sack voice. Watching a Cardi B video. Fucking disgusting. Yeah, the Bodie one showed the streets the most. Because that's what he was. He was a soldier in the streets. That life don't pay. I think 50 Cent said that in a song. He was like, all the time you're in the streets making all those moves, it equals up to minimum wage. Killing them softly, yeah, that was good. Now, if I listen to rap, it's not going to be garbage. RZA never had garbage. Jizza, Ghostface Killer, Cormega, Nas. Give you 5 mil, yeah. No, that they don't all talk about that. They don't just talk about that stuff. The people I listen to, they don't talk about that. Yeah, Little Italy's like a block. You walk it, and then you're in Chinatown in like 30 seconds. I'll show you soon. I'll be in Manhattan soon. Chess, I love chess. That was a great scene with the whole chess thing, and then they used it at. That was like the whole thing with the wire. It's all a chess game. And Bodie was a pawn. He didn't make it to the other side. Slim Charles was the queen, I think. Yo, Zim, Jizza's great, great lyricist. Yeah, Butchie was like, what the fuck, you know? He looked around, he's like, where am I? The Wire was written way better than The Sopranos. The writing was a masterpiece. The Sopranos was too, but The Sopranos was more a comedy, like a dark comedy. Whereas The Wire, you had some funny scenes. Like I was cracking up when Butchie gave Omar the idea to sell stuff back to Prop Joe for 20 on the dollar. And then they're just laughing and shit. And then Omar's like thinking about it. And then he goes and tries and it's like 20 on the dollar. And Slim Charles is like 10. Don't make me say 25 now. When Poot was in charge of the pit, he was jumping on the couch and shit. Bunk was hilarious. Uh, who else? I don't know. Some of them make me laugh without trying when the scene's not supposed to even be funny. When Stringer was like, "Is you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy?" Man, give me that shit. Where's Wallace? Strang, where you at? Yeah, so Avon and Slim Charles, they were old school. They understood. Because you need a community if you're doing shit. If the community don't like you, you're done. You need morals and shit. The Sopranos is just a glorified show. I put the Discord link in the thing if you want to. I'm in his Discord, so he's actually a good guy when you get to know him. Yeah, Lester was hilarious. Yeah, why those scenes, man? I couldn't watch those scenes. I mean, I didn't like skip it, but I would turn away. Same in The Sopranos when Corky and Chris were hanging out. I'm like, I can't watch that shit. The Sopranos, it started. I liked it in the beginning. I liked it all. I guess I don't know because I'm Italian. Maybe I'm biased, but I liked The Wire too when I first started. I just kept binge watching both of them. Is it all that? It's all over the place. I don't know what it's like. I never did that garbage. Yes, it does. Half Sicilian, half Napolitan. Yeah, I don't know. That's a killer right there. It's an epidemic. Why was Johnny Cakes upset when Vito helped the fireman? Cause he was jealous. Yeah, Nick, I was talking about that yesterday on the Mexico live stream. I was like, how did people just start like, they're growing, there's tobacco and shit, and then the first humans are like, let me try and roll that up and just set it on fire and put it in my lungs and shit. I don't know how they started doing all that, and then taking like grabbing like a poisonous frog and tripping on it. You think that's how it happened? Is that true? Or is it all speculation? Yeah, the mushroom thing was probably an accident. Obviously, they probably just ate it and then like, what the hell, and then started eating them again. A whole fucking platter. I knew that was coming. Was Stringer Bell killing D'Angelo the straw that broke the camel's back with Avon's trust? No, it was the whole thing with Prop Joe. Once he did that thing with Prop Joe, it was over. Because after that, they were still talking, I don't think Avon really, I mean, he cared, but he couldn't lose his pipeline in New York with Brother Mazzone. So Stringer dug his own grave. Plus, he was a rat. If he didn't rat out Avon, Slim Charles and them, they would have got to Marlowe. Yeah, that I don't get why they had to give up the towers. There's no reason to give up the towers. Yeah, Tony, he didn't. He was just he was selfish. He was probably the worst one. I don't know. The food scenes in The Wire. I know every time I watch The Sopranos, I want to eat, but The Wire, not so much. All right, brother. Yeah, there is a lot of people like Tony, sociopaths, all for themselves. Well, season one was kind of like a sitcom, and then they got more serious in season two, but still, it was still funny. It was just dark comedy. And then it started getting darker, less funnier in season six. Maybe even season five, but season five was still, there was still funny jokes. I mean, season six was funny too, but with the whole veto thing. But besides that, it wasn't as funny as the other seasons. It was more darker. No, I don't like that song now when she sings. What about when Avon, when Cuddy was showing him shit with the equipment? He's like, I ain't got time for all that, man. Yeah, the dream sequences were great. They really nailed it with that one. Yeah, AJ had some funny scenes. Was Chris a rat? Yes. He was telling civilians his business. He told the guy JT his business. You can't do that. That breaks the rules. That's a death sentence. So he was a rat. Ah man, Freeze. Some of my best. I love when Avon talks that shit. This ain't your damn business class string. It ain't about that. It's about that other thing. What I tell you about playing them fucking away games? Huh? Damn, man. Avon was cold. He was cold. Nah, you a businessman. You want to handle it like that. You don't want to go gangsta wild with it. When he wanted to kill Clay Davis, you need a Day of the Jackal type motherfucker to pull some shit like that. Prop Joe had some good ass lines too. Prop Joe is one of the best too. But Avon, Omar too. Omar too. Omar's lines were top notch. Avon, Prop Joe. That show was, oh man. Yeah, when Marlo to Prop Joe. Prop Joe, man, he played himself. He had Marlo and Omar after him. Tried screwing over Brother Mazzone. He got caught. I loved season 2 of The Wire. The whole port thing. I liked Frank Sabaka. The Greeks. Yeah, it was good that they showed that. At first, when I first started, I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Where's Avon? Where's? I want to see that type of stuff." But then I'm like, I saw what the writer was doing. I'm like, "All right," and then it all started connecting. Everything started connecting with each other. So, yeah, you needed season 2. Yeah, what's going on, Papa Bear? That's true, Zim. And I said this a lot. Like, yeah, they're all slimy. Silvio was too. I said it. I said Richie was like the best as far as the Mafia guys. Because all we've seen him do, on what we, as of what we've seen, Richie never messed with civilians. So everyone else, Chris, Paulie killed an old lady. Chris and Paulie killed a waiter. Look at everything Tony did. Silvio, Adriana, she wasn't a civilian. I mean, yeah, she was a civilian. She wasn't or an associate, whatever. But all Richie did was, he had a beef with his former best friend or friend, whatever. Beansy. Was Ralph the worst though? I don't think he was the worst. No, he was bad. Was he as bad as Tony though, or Janice? Yeah, Richie was respectful towards civilians, especially Davy. Davy's kid. Yeah, imagine having a friend like Beansy. That's what people don't understand. And then let's say you do 10 years, you come back, and the guy's just, you don't even say hello. He ducked him. The only thing Richie did wrong was he didn't listen to Tony, because Tony did tell him to back off. But then again, Tony is like, not talking to Richie. So, and Richie was with Junior, and Junior was technically the boss. So, even if it was just name. So, Richie really answered to Junior. He was in Junior's crew. Yeah, what's going on, John? We're just shooting the shit. Talking Sopranos, Wire. The only thing Beansy did that was good is he saved Paulie's life. Because if Tony never talked to Beansy about Paulie, I think Tony would have killed Paulie. And remember when that episode. Because he was telling Beansy everything. He's like, has he been put to the test? He was worried about Paulie not having any W-2s to show, that he was a liability. And Beansy's like, you don't got to worry about Paulie. Hesh, um, yeah, and Hesh was. I didn't. I didn't hate him. I didn't hate the character. I didn't hate the actor or nothing. But he was selfish too. I didn't mind Hesh. I liked all the scenes he was in. But Junior was right with to tax him and all that stuff. It's part of the game. Just because he was friends with Tony's father doesn't mean anything if Junior's in charge. Junior can make up his own rules. He was the boss. All right, so Papa Bear, yeah, he was selfish. He was using Tony for his to his advantage, and he did rip off the group, all the bands and shit. Yeah, when Hesh when Adriana's band, that was funny. We danced to his tune. Yeah, he was smart, Hesh. That's not the only smart thing he did. He tricked Tony's lawyer. He sold him some of his Webistic stock, and he took the lawyer's Disney shares. If you guys didn't catch that, I liked that episode. That was funny. A hit is a hit, even though it didn't have any uh, main plot stories. It was just like a an off episode. I liked the episode. Yeah, when Hesh sat down with Massive Genius. But yeah, that's how it was back then. But I didn't agree with Hesh there. Yeah, when the lawyer's like 1,000 thank yous for Webistics. And he's telling him how he sold some of his Disney shares to Hesh to buy Webistics. Then they dumped the stock, and Hesh was the winner. And then the lawyer lost out. I hated the thing with the. Well, I didn't hate it, but it was smart writing. When they're at the stables and Hesh and the other guy, Ruben, when they were talking about Columbus and stuff, Hesh was being. They were all being hypocrites. They were all wrong. Yep, it's true, Papa Bear. And the way he talks shit to his girlfriend, his wife, whatever, about Tony. He was scared shit at the end. Yeah, when Chris said that. Yeah, Renata. Yeah. I just wish Hesh was in more episodes. He was supposed to be a main character because The Sopranos was supposed to be about music. But Jerry Adler didn't never had a contract, so they couldn't fully go on with that storyline. But Hesh was supposed to be a main, like, big character. Yeah, when Hesh was complaining to Renata about Tony and the boat and spending money, like, what's he supposed to do? Not spend anything and live like Junior? Yeah, and when she dies, and then Hesh lost it, and then Tony comes and brings the money. Some people leave comments in the Hesh video asking if they poisoned her or something. Nah, that that's that didn't happen. I don't think anyone would poison her for what? There's nothing to gain there. Because she was complaining about migraines before. Yeah, Cuddy. That's how I took it, Papa Bear. What Papa Bear just said. Naturally, and the whole point to that was who cares about money when you're dead? And Hesh realizes that. That was his arc. Yeah, so uh, she pretended, he made her pretend, but then she was complaining that she had a migraine or some shit. I gotta go back and rewatch that again. Because I forgot about that until just now, yeah. How she pretended she was ill. So I wonder if was the migraine part after that? I don't remember. I gotta rewatch it. That's what I think. That was his arc. Money didn't matter. Because that's all Hesh cared about. You know who had an arc? Noah. Noah Tannenbaum had an arc. Yeah. Tony and Junior's last encounter. Tony knew. That's what, like, his eyes, you could tell in that scene. He's like, this is how it's gonna be. When Tony was arrested, that was funny. Yeah, Paulie should have said that. When Tony killed Chris, you hated him after that? I was shocked. I didn't see that coming when I first watched it. I didn't understand why at first, and then I understood after. I'm like, okay. He was worried that he was going to flip because he said, I'll never pass a drug test. So once he said that, it was over because he did warn him when he took him to the NA shit when he had to go away. He gave him one chance and he blew it. He had so many chances. And then that was his last chance because he said, Tony specifically said, no more bullshit. And then, I think Tony was mad with that whole thing with the real estate agent. Chris lied to him. Then Chris wasn't there anymore. He stopped going to visit him. He stopped going to Satriel's. He stopped going to the Bing. And Tony didn't need him anymore, so he moved Bobby to number two. Bobby was the underboss. Yeah, when I first watched the episode, I'm like, all right, it was dragging along. I'm like, what is he doing? He's just messing with the radio. I'm like, something bad's gonna happen. I knew something was gonna happen right there. Yeah, he wasn't made for the life. I said this on a previous live where I think Jackie Jr. would have been better than him if he was taught right. But unfortunately, his coach was Ralph. If he had anybody other than Ralphie, Jackie Jr. would have been good. Hey, Devin, what's going on, brother? Jackie Jr. was stupid, but I feel like if he was taught better, he would have been a better asset than Chrissy. The branch and the baby seat, that definitely played a major part. But then it comes down to that little dream, mini dream he had where he confesses to Melfi. We think it's real, but he's dreaming. That's how he felt, that he was a liability. Plus, Junior told him in like season 3 or 4. No, wait. Was it 4? He's like, when a dog has rabies, you put it down. The golfer? Yeah, Jackie Jr. was just, he was a spoiled brat and he listened to Ralphie. But Ralphie, I felt like he did that on purpose. After the Thanksgiving thing, he tells Jackie, whatever you need, give me a call. And then he started talking shit about Tony. So Ralphie started all that shit. Or else they would have never hit up the card game. Ralphie knew what he was doing. Yeah, Junior said it all along. Junior wasn't stupid. Junior knew. Junior was mostly right on everything he was saying. That's why Tony went to him all the time. That was like Tony's secret consigliere. He had Melfi and Junior teaching him everything. Because Tony was just an older AJ, if you think about it. He was an older AJ. They were the same person, except AJ wasn't violent. And they didn't have a temper like Tony, but. Oh, yeah, Hesh was his other psychiatrist. Yeah, Stuntmaster, they were going to probably do something stupid anyway. But I don't think they would hit up a card game or anything like that. That was the dumb, yeah, but that was Ralphie's fault. I blame him for that. No, AJ didn't have. He wasn't smart like Tony because he didn't have street smarts. That was the big difference. The street smart aspect of it all. But as far as everything else, oh yeah, Jackie Jr. peed his pants and when they robbed that benefit concert. Yeah, AJ became woke. That's how it was back then. That propaganda bullshit. Yeah, Papa Bear. Do I think Tony knew by giving Artie that loan that ultimately he'd end up clearing his bar tab? That's a great question. So I think that whole thing at first, because Artie did mention, he's like, you knew this was coming all along, but that wasn't true because Tony only lent Artie the money because that whole thing with Gloria. So he didn't, not before the whole thing with Gloria, but he's like, what am I, a toxic person? So he felt like, let me do something right. To top it off, Artie went to Ralphie first. That's an insult to Tony. So Tony's like, let me help Artie out. I don't think he thought about the tab at first. But then Artie started talking about, I'm going to give this guy a loan. He's going to pay me back, whatever. So then Tony probably thought in his head, I'm going to make a quick couple G's. And then, worst case, if he doesn't pay me back, yeah, the tab thing. He probably thought about that. But that wasn't his main intention. It just so happened that way. And then he probably got his money back from Jean Philippe. Yeah, Freeze. Artie did tell him he was, you know, a bunch of steps ahead of him because he did the same thing to Davey, but he charged Davey, I think 5%. He only charged Artie 1.5%. So he didn't mean to do all what Artie thought he did. But Tony did only do it, and he felt bad because after Gloria, and then Artie was like, tried to off himself. He was like, all right. He didn't want to see his friend go, what's 50,000 to Tony? He don't care. But Artie was ungrateful for that. Artie wanted a piece of the life without having to do any dirty work. And then when he tried, he got his ass kicked. Yeah, again with the money. So name a video and get the fuck over it. Yeah, the thing with Davey, he knew all along. He knew he had the business. He even told him that. But he warned him. He didn't want him in the game. He told him, no. Davey didn't listen. Oh, yeah, when I I uploaded that Lady Gaga shit the other day. I was bored. I'm like, let me just fucking upload this short really quick. Yeah, when he moved to Vegas. What an idiot. Davey was an idiot. Was Ralph the smartest wise guy? He set up the HUD thing, ran the Esplanade. He said he was better with money than 9/10 of his accountants. The smartest was probably Carmine Sr. He was in charge the longest. And that Ralphie wasn't dumb though. Ralphie was smart. Ralphie knew what he was calculated. He was smarter than Chris and most of the other guys. He was smarter than Paulie. I don't think he was smarter than Johnny Sack, but he was up there. Come on, with his big fish lips of his. If Johnny goes, Carmine's gonna put his son in there. Fucking brainless the second. The only normal people were Meadow, her fiance, and the sister. Charmaine was normal. Artie's wife. Probably the most normal person on the show was Charmaine. If there's any flies on me, they're paying rent. You distracted me. I'm taking a mulligan. He's an old fashioned guy, Pop. Very allegorical. Little Carmine was normal? Uh, yeah, I mean, he wasn't no diabolical, evil. I don't think he was. Maybe. I don't know. Because I think Joey Peeps was going to get whacked. He just didn't agree with the whole Billy Leotardo thing. Bit of a posoi, you ask me. His tariff, his appraiser. Son of a bitch. when Tony and Silvio were looking at each other. I mean, little Carmine is smart. If if we're talking about survival. But I don't know. I said it earlier. I think he was so dumb that that's why he survived. Did the Russian survive? He was supposed to, and then they scrapped the idea. He was supposed to be like in another episode with like half his head gone, but then David Chase scrapped it. If I could pick three guys from my crew, who would it be? Uh, I gotta think about that for a second. If I had to pick three guys from my crew, um, that's tough. That's real tough. I would probably pick Phil, Butchie, and maybe someone like Richie. Phil, Butchie, Richie. When they put Peeps on the headstone, and then he's like, "Fucking Jason, he's dyslexic." When that has nothing to do with it. Chris, Bobby, and Sel. Well, Chris was a fuck up. Bobby, he was playing with train sets and shit. I'd rather have Phil, a hothead like Butchie, and Phil was hot headed. And then somebody old school, I would pick old school guys. Maybe even like, nah, I wouldn't pick Feach because Feach was too crazy. No, I wouldn't pick Ralphie because he's too crazy. I would pick guys that I think wouldn't turn on me. So if you had Phil and Butchie in there, and then you pick somebody like Richie Aprile, then you got a crazy crew. Yeah, Feach would be talking shit behind your back. I don't think Butchie and Phil would have been doing that because Phil sat back for Johnny Sack. So as much of a hothead Phil was, he still sat back and he respected Johnny's title as long as he could. I wouldn't pick Silvio. He was just a consigliere. Chris was loyal till the end. He started. Don't forget, he was ratting to JT. He was telling his business. You can't do that. Plus, he was off the wagon and he was lying to Tony. Tony didn't know that, but he was lying to him. And then Tony figured it out and he whacked him. Patsy, no, I wouldn't pick him because he was uh he pulled that shit with the floor tile, even though they knew they were, testing Chrissy's, because Chrissy was the acting captain, so I wouldn't want a guy like that. Knowing that, I wouldn't pick Patsy. Thanks, Nathan, bro. I appreciate that. Oh, Gigi? Gigi complained too much. He couldn't handle it. That's why he died. Stress. But guys like Richie and Phil, like old school guys like that, I wouldn't pick Johnny Sack because he was, he was a pragmatist. Yeah, Ralph was a great earner, but look what happened when Ralph went. They put Vito in, and he was a great earner too. No, Ralph didn't poison Gigi because Gigi was talking to Tony, and then Sylvia was like, "Did you see the stress? His eyes. He's got like bags on his eyes. He's stressed out. He couldn't handle it." Little Carmine, no, he was too selfish, and all he cared about was his projects, like the scaffolding project. He didn't care what happened with Tony and what was right with the whole Coco thing, because Tony was right. Coco should have died. And then little Carmine said, "But I got that scaffolding project." And then Tony's like, "Why didn't you say that from the beginning, you cheap fuck?" So I wouldn't pick little Carmine. Yeah, Gigi was loyal, but he was don't forget what Junior said. He wasn't respected by that crew. A lot of things that Junior said was right. He said he's like a gibbeline in the social club. He's got to go. Yeah, Ralph killed Gigi, but from the stress. Yeah, that's that's true. Because who else was Gigi really dealing with in that crew? You had Vito, who was really doing nothing. Donnie K, a bunch of idiots in that crew. That's what being a boss is. You steer the ship the best way you know. Sometimes it's smooth, sometimes it hit the rocks. In the meantime, you find your pleasures while you can. Junior was talking about Richie when he said he couldn't sell it. Yeah, because he was trying to see if the Larry and Albert were in. But once the Barisi crew wasn't in, Richie couldn't sell it to them because he wasn't respected. Yeah, you notice Albert repeated everything in the show except the time when Ralph killed the horse. When he had that dinner with Silvio and Patsy, he didn't say one stutter. Do I think she dumped AJ because he was still a kid? Probably, yeah. Yeah, Albert called out Silvio. Albert was smart. He wasn't dumb. Yeah, Tony. Tony wasn't a good boss, but he did start off with a crew full of rats. As soon as he started off, before the show even started, you already had Bump and Sarah was a rat, Jimmy Altieri was a rat, Ray Curta was a rat. Who else was a rat? He had a crew full of shitheads. So how are you going to coach guys that aren't coachable? Yep. Yeah, Junior always had an opinion. He was boss basically till he got arrested in season 6. Yeah, if Richie at the end, he ran off his emotions, but Richie got played by Junior. Richie got played because Junior wanted to take out Tony, and he used Richie for that because he saw what was happening. So he tried to use it against. He's like, all right, maybe I can control everything again. We'll take Tony out. Second attempt. And then Richie couldn't sell it. And then that's why Junior was like to Bobby, who are we better off with? He's like, well, I'm better off with Tony right now. So Junior was sly, like a fox. That's a good question, Freeze. Why couldn't Carmela relax? Her head was just always in New Jersey. I think Rosalie April said something about that too. Like, why do you got to bring this shit to like on the vacation? Johnny Sack had something to do with Carmine's stroke when he says, I smell cut grass. I mean, that was a theory. I don't think it happened like that. I don't think Johnny poisoned him. But it is implied, even Livia says it in season 1, that Johnny was a snake. Snakes are poisonous. So it's a possibility. It's a possibility that Johnny Sack maybe poisoned him because he was snaky like that just to become boss. You can't rule that out. I don't think so, but you can't rule that out. The Lupertazis. I made a video on that. It's called The Real Sopranos, the Cavalcante family. It's on my second channel. I think the Lupertazis were mostly the Lucchese's mixed with a little bit Gambino-ish stuff, like parallels with Gambino's. Like Carmine Sr. was sort of like a Castellano, business-wise. Johnny Sack, similar a little bit to John Gotti, but not really. Because John Gotti was way crazier than any of them with his gambling and how loud he was. Johnny Sack was loud, but not all the time. But they were based mostly on the Lucchese's. Tony was doing better when Jackie, yeah. Yeah, Carmine said he smelled burning hair. Freeze, it's a family thing that people relate to. Because I'm Italian, but the way that they say things in the show and the way that they do things isn't the real Italian way. And they show that when Tony's microwaving his food while Furio's cooking his food, and Furio's pouring wine and Tony's pouring milk. But yeah, people relate to the family aspect of it all. Yeah, back in the day at the dinner table, you can't mess around. You always found it fascinating how Olivia knew so much about other gang members. Her actress was respected a lot on the set. People would play around when she was there. Yeah, she was around for a long time. She was doing, I forget what other show she was on. She was in a commercial. Remember the Wonder Bread? She was in that commercial. I remember that. I work on my hair all day. That's it. At what age do people stop being a kid? Uh, that's like a family thing. Because I'll say that sometimes. If somebody goes and, their 40s, 50s, I'll say that. And it's not really a Sopranos reference when I say that. But it's more of a family thing when, like, it was just a kid. Why did Livia want Tony whacked? Because she got put in the nursing home and he was selling the house and everything. So payback. Well, here's another expression. You got 5 days to pay me my comments. This ain't the 70s, and I'm not a kid. It's because I got an empty fucking stomach. How about the humidity? And then he smacks her up. Today's a lucky day. I only made it to the R's. Next time, there'll be no next time. He only made it to the R's because that's what song was playing on the radio. Yo, Big Stepper. Thank you, brother. Phil was just trying to get up. He was just pissed off, so he was whining about it. I don't think it was a skew. You don't feel like he was sitting at 12 o'clock. How could it be okay if it's a skew? You like the swings between Little Carmine's decisiveness and ignorance? He outduels Johnny Sack at the golf course, but ruins the potential peace between Phil and Tony. I think he ruined the peace by accident, to be honest with you. Salute DS. Yeah, Peeps agreed with him. He knew Phil was just breaking chops. Yeah, Tony B needed the money. After that party at Hugh's birthday party, Tony B got sick of it. Jersey? Come on, huh? Yeah, she was just a civilian. Tony B was nuts. He kills Joey Peeps, the girl, tries to kill Phil, kills Billy. He was a hothead. Remember that old man in season one when the kid took a header because he did some designer stuff? And the old man was like, he was just a baby. Instead of he was just a kid, he was like, he was just a baby. Yeah, Blondetta was book smart, but an idiot in the street. He was just a hothead, crazy. Remember when Rusty called Phil an animal? Yeah, Johnny Sack played Paulie big time. Paulie was the only one that fell for Johnny Sack. Tony didn't fall for it. That's why he said no. How you gonna come to Tony saying you want Carmine whacked? And he's like, what are you gonna do for me? And Johnny Sack just tells him, I'll take a sad song and make it better. That was the biggest bullshit. Because what would have happened was, this is how snaky Johnny Sack was. What would have happened was he would have been like, all right, and then use it against Tony and tell the other four bosses that this guy got him whacked. And now he has Tony under his thumb. Tony knew that. That's why he didn't fall for it. Yeah, Zine when Tony B was pretending to be clueless. Somebody's talking too much and it's costing me money. Oh, Count Chocula. Nah, he insulted him a little bit. Yeah, Johnny Sack was setting Tony up with that one. Because if Tony said yeah, it was it. That was it for him. How are you going to just keep agreeing with everything Tony says? Tony played Johnny. Tony was smart. That's one thing we can say. He was a bad boss with his crew, but he was smart. He couldn't be played with. Is anyone in here in Borko server? The Discord? We need new blood. Yeah. What, a semester and a half? No, he was smart. Tony was smart. Showing all the way. I told him Rome wasn't built in one day. Who told you to do that? It's on page 4 of the boss manual, John. Jesus. Is that sugarless motherfucker? It's the last drink you're gonna have. You realize this motherless fuck is into me for over 8 large? He's got money to play here. Let them pay me my money. Send them out. You go home, Richie. This ain't gonna happen to one of my players. What if Sean whacked Tony? I would have turned the TV off. Like, I ain't watching this shit no more. When he spits on the floor and walks away, that's something Italians do too. They're just like, ooh, they spit. I think Annalisa from Naples did that too. She spit. She's like, oh, I'm gonna give you one of my best men. She spits. Yo, Q-tip. Yeah, I'm in New York. When Chrissy said 3 o'clock from the Irish Bard, and Paulie's 3 o'clock, and then Tony presumably got shot by someone at 3 o'clock. Foreshadowing. Uh, we talked about this before. I think it's a religious thing, but yeah, possibly foreshadowing. I don't think the season. I don't know because season that was season 2 when that happened. I don't think Chase had the ending right there and then because he admitted it. He didn't know how they were going to end it until I think season 5 or something. End of season 5. Yeah, I might do more Boardwalk next. Yeah. Was Method Man's acting impressive? I didn't like Cheese in The Wire. Was his acting good though? It wasn't the best compared to the rest of the guys. He was one of the worst of them, in my opinion. I don't want to answer that question only because you know it's not that I don't trust you guys. I just don't trust certain shit on the internet. You could have one wrong, if you believe one wrong thing and somebody disagrees with you, they could fuck with you, you know? Nobody fucks with my money. Jim Jones caught a cameo on the show. Where at? The fuck you do that for? Now we short the 9. That was for Joe. Yeah, I pinned the link to Borko's Discord if you want to join it. He's a good guy. Who the fuck are you? Ralph Bunch over here? Oh, really? I didn't know that, Papa Bear. Oh, The Town was a great movie. I'm gonna take court to the streets. Zim, that's hilarious. I could have called you Ichabod Crane, but I didn't. The fuck you talking about? It's at least 25. 25. Oh yeah, when Davey said that, till they show up with bathrobes and shit. That's how it was back then. Not in the 2000s, but early 90s, 80s. You don't, an old man could have came up on you. That's how it was. You could have had a 80-year-old guy walking with a cane. You wouldn't even know it. It was it was bad back then. Yeah, Bobby. He was a funny character, but I never took him seriously. I only liked him really after the Blue Comet, that one episode, and I felt bad when he got whacked, but I didn't really care for Bobby. I still got to see Deadwood. It's gonna take me a little bit, but I'll watch it. Yeah, Bobby was no saint. He was just like the rest of them. Freeze. I didn't say that, but now that you mention it, I don't know if there were any. Narcos. I watched some of it. Um, yeah. Why was Bobby buying a train set in the middle of a war? He was stupid. No, it's all good. But since you mentioned it, I can't think of any. Man with a plan. Join Borko's Discord. Unless you're already in there. Oh yeah, if I'm going out, I'm not leaving my phone just in case. I don't play around. You can't just walk around with nothing. Kima, yeah, she was probably. I mean, she was a cheat, right? She was a cheater. It was something like that. I, I don't know if Noble. She wasn't a bad person. I mean, she wasn't evil or nothing like that. Oh yeah, she did rat on McNulty, but it's not like she was in any gang or anything. But I mean, she still ratted him out though. Yo, man with a plan. Yeah, that's worse than Bobby buying a train set. Who leaves their piece in a suitcase? Come on, man. Or whatever the fuck he left in it. Was it a suitcase? Briefcase? Um, when you're in the middle of a war. That shit should have been on his lap. Michael ended up being a gangster like Marlo after he killed Snoop. No, I think he was more like Omar. That's pretty cool, Zim. I never heard of that. Yeah, he was the new Omar. He had the shotgun. He bucked up in the knee. That's all stuff Omar would have done. Yeah, he had morals. That's why I loved Omar so much. Omar, Avon, Slim Charles, they had morals. More, more morals than the other guys, obviously. Prop Joe was a snake. Marlo, I just wouldn't want to be around a dude like Marlo. Chris, Chris was a soldier like Weebay. Chris was smarter though than Weebay, I think, but they were both soldiers. Yeah, he called me a punk. You ain't need that shit on your mind, man. What the fuck you know what I need on my mind, motherfucker? That whole scene was fucking hilarious. Do you hear the rain right now? Yeah, freeze. And then the Greeks, my name is not my name. And I'm not even Greek. Yeah, Weebay with his fish. Oh yeah, the security guard. You want it to be one way. You want it to be one way. But it's the other way. It's that other thing. Weebay was hilarious. That rain's loud, right, guys? I'm trying to step to. Yeah, what I tell you about playing them fucking away games? What about when Avon, uh, he did that finger wave? He's like, no, you ain't getting me today, boy. Oh, yeah, Chris was a scary dude. Yeah, that show was a masterpiece. They'll never make a show like that again. And all those actors, man, heavy hitters. How do you know he was being followed by 5-0? He was just driving around. He knew he was making turns and shit. When you see a car and then you turn and then you see another one and shit, and you're in your neighborhood, you know. When you're street smart and you're on your block, you know all the cars on your block. If there's a car that sticks out that's not there, you keep an eye on that car. I remember back in the day, I used to count the cars on the block. I'd be like, all right, well, this car is, not usually here. Let me keep an eye on that car. You got to be smart. You too, brother. I'll stick around for like 10 more minutes, guys. Yeah, when Stringer said that, he didn't trust him for a second, and he's like, all right. That whole Amsterdam shit was hilarious. Omar knew that shit was a trap right away. When Omar drove through Amsterdam, he was like, something's up here, man. What was scary, Vampire? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. when he said that to Bodie. Because he got pulled over. He got picked up. There's places like that too. Don't they have that shit in like Portland, Oregon? Somewhere has shit. There's a few places like that. Isn't that place in Philly too? Kensington? Freeze. I didn't like any of them, man. Yeah. I don't know. That was funny. Yeah, you heard that shit about her, right? Crazy. Yeah, that shit's crazy. Not that she made the site, but the other shit. Yeah, it ain't even that she made that site thing. Because, like Chrissy in The Soprano says, unless they're paying you not, nobody's got a right to tell anybody how to earn a living. So, it's just weird, the editing thing. I don't even want to really say anything about it, but we saw what they were saying about it. Uh, the whole shaker thing, I would probably just laugh. I wouldn't be pissed off, mad, anything like that. It takes a lot to bother me. If I'm mad at somebody, they gotta do something really stupid. Not that kind of stupid. You know? We got like 7 more minutes, guys. I've been on for 3 hours. Damn. 181 minutes. I think yesterday I was on for like 2 hours. Are you subscribed to my second channel, guys? Because I go live on that too. Have you watched any TV shows that have any significant percentage of depth and storytelling as the Yeah, and I've uploaded them, but I got copyrighted on it, so I had to take them down. Gamora was one of them. That's on I think they actually took it off HBO Max, but that's a Sky series. In Europe, it's about the Camorra clan in Italy, the Camorra Wars in the 2000s. Season 1 and 2 and some of 3 are based on real life Camorra. Nah, Freeze, I wouldn't rewatch The Many Saints. Once was enough. There's plenty other stuff. Watch Gamora. There's 5 seasons. Watch that. It's good. It's one of the. It's in my top 3. Gamora was made in 2013, and then they finished it in 2020 or 2021. And that show is basically like Fiorio from The Sopranos, but 1,000 times worse than Fiorio. Because Fiorio was in the Camorra clans. So that whole thing in Naples that you see in The Sopranos, that's what Gamora is, but way more ruthless. And that's how it was in the 2000s during the real Camorra Wars. So if you didn't see it, check it out. But make sure it's on Italian and just have English subtitles. Gabagool, capicola, it's ham. It's a certain part of the pig. It's very salty. I like prosciutto better though, but yeah, I had some recently. Yeah, and then the other part, I think the prosciutto is the part of the leg or something. One's part of the shoulder, and they put salt all over it to preserve it. So after you eat some, you're gonna be dehydrated as hell. You're gonna need a lot of water. If you eat a lot, it's not good for you. You could have a little bit here and there, but I wouldn't like eat it all the time. I can only eat that like once a month. Yeah, he was eating. I don't call it gabagool. It's capicola. But yeah, that's what he always ate in the fridge. But I like prosciutto better. I believe it. I believe Gandolfini. I believe that. Gandolfini, he seemed like a really good, down to earth guy. He just didn't like the paparazzi on his ass. So the only time you seen him pissed off is when he asked the guys to put the cameras down and they wouldn't listen to him. He didn't know he was going to be that big of a star. So when he was with his kids, he's a protective bear. You can't mess with a guy when he's with his family. Oh, we got a guy from Scotland, Glasgow. I appreciate that, bro. I was just talking to someone from Scotland yesterday. They were telling me there was a lot of Italians by you. Yeah, True Romance. I liked them in that. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I'll keep them coming. Make sure you're on my second channel too, by the way. Did that get him the Tony role? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what got him it. I think when he was just doing his rehearsing and shit, David Chase saw something in him. Yeah, it was the audition that got him in that. Because they had a few guys they were gonna pick for Tony, which Rispoli was one of them. But yeah, it was between Rispoli and Gandolfini. And then Gandolfini did it right, and they picked him. If they would have picked anybody else, I don't. It wouldn't have been as good because Gandolfini was a leader. He led that whole team. Commentary videos explain. Like, what would you want me to do? Yeah, I miss Gandolfini, man. He's been gone 12 years, right? 13, almost 13 years. Yeah, the guy from yesterday was saying there was a lot of Italians over there in Scotland by you. He was telling me some dishes too that they make over there. He said it was good. Yeah, everything nowadays they don't make the shows like they used to. Europe does now. America not so much. You'll see bullshit stuff on Netflix and just garbage. Amazon Prime. It's all bullshit. That's why I rather watch shit on YouTube because I feel like the regular people make better documentaries than something I would watch on Netflix. And there's less fluff. I hate when there's fluff. That's why I make the videos the way I make them. I don't like the fluff. Like it's okay the first couple of watches if you're watching a show and you've seen it mad times, you don't want to keep watching this fluff. You just want to watch that specific character do its thing. Gandolfini only did one interview, I think, with 60 Minutes. No, I didn't watch the Australian show. I gotta start looking because I like what Europe's been doing with their shows recently. Well, Chase is old now, so do directors and producers lose their uh, magic after a certain age? I think that's bullshit. If they're still hungry, they got it. If if there's no more magic, it's they're not hungry anymore. Because you still got good book writers. There's book writers that start when they're 60, 70. So I don't think that's true. Thanks, retroactive. No, I didn't hear that theory. I'll check out Mr. In Between. So for Europe, there's when I mentioned Gamora before, you have 000. Um, there's this other one. I forget what country. The Macro Mafia was called or something like that. Then you have what was that other good show? I have a list. I'll on the next one. I'll I'll get the list for you. But I wrote a whole thing down of good shows. Oh, it's on Hulu. Yeah, Gamora is a great show. The prequel's coming out in January. It was on HBO Max, but I heard they took it down. But it's on Sky. I don't know where that is, what app that's on. You might be able to see it on Amazon, or I don't know who has it right now, but that show is one of the best shows. Great acting. Who's in it? There you have, they're from Naples. You have Marco D'Amore, Salvatore Esposito. Their actors not known in America, but now they're known because Salvatore's in Fargo. He played what's that guy's name? Gaetano in Fargo season 4. Yeah, Sky UK. Yeah, that's where I watched it on. Sky UK and it was Sky Italia. Oh yeah, the Tom Hardy one. I watched that. That was good. Yeah, wait till you see him in Gamora. That's where he started out. At first, you're gonna be like, "Oh, look at this fucking little kid," and then you see from there, badass. I don't know if that was a French show that I was talking about or German. I think it was called like Mocro Mafia, Macro Mafia. I gotta look for it. I know it was something along the lines of that though. It's been a few years. Yeah, Salvatore Esposito, man, he's a great actor. And then you got Marco D'Amore. He plays one of the main characters in Gomorrah. Great actor. No, Freeze, I gotta go there soon. I got family over there. I just haven't had the time. No, I didn't see Taboo. I got a lot of stuff I gotta watch. I'm both actually. Half Sicilian, half Napolitan. They're both very different too, even though they're both from the South. They talk different, different dialects, different mafias. Yo, Stonewall, what's going on? Good, good. Yeah, I'll check it out, Joe. I'll check it out. Checking in from Hell's Kitchen. Nice. I'm in Staten. When he played a Sicilian gangster, uh, yeah, half and half. Yeah, it was a great scene. But as far as playing a Sicilian, I feel like only I don't know, a Sicilian could play a Sicilian. It's hard to get it right when you grew up with Sicilians. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if a Sicilian would whisper that shit. Sicilians are just so much different than Napolitan. No, I agree with you, Freeze. All right, 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes. I know I said that before, but definitely 5 minutes this time. Did you like it in The Godfather when Michael went to Sicily? Yeah, yeah. I didn't see either one, Stonewall. I didn't see either one of them. Are you guys subscribed to my second channel by any chance? And I'm on Instagram if you want to message me personally. I also take guests if you want to join my live streams and talk about whatever. Um, no, I didn't see the offer, but I think somebody mentioned that recently. I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, when Paulie was in Italy, he was like, he was out of place. That's how I looked at it. Because, even me, if I went to Naples right now, I'd feel out of place too. Like, I know some Napolitan, but, if they're just talking to me and they're talking fast, I'm not going to understand them. I would need them to talk slow. I'd probably feel out of place too. Commendatore. They don't even say that. Not in, not really. Naples is in the south. Naples is one of the oldest places in the world, actually. Because at first, it was it was Greek. It was called Nopolis. Then the Romans, when they conquered the Greeks, became Napoli. And yeah, there's some old buildings there. They have cities and stuff. Sicily's different. Sicily's more different than Naples. Yeah, Gomorrah, as far as like mob, it's not Cosa Nostra because Cosa Nostra was it started in Sicily. The Camorra started in Naples. The Ndrangheta started in Calabria. So people mix it up. The Camorra is not like a organized thing. They're more like a cartel. Same with the Ndrangheta, where Sicily was Cosa Nostra, where they came to Italy, to America. When Furio said that not liking Italians in the North, yeah, because the North looks down on the South. I talked to somebody not too long ago. They were in Rome, and I wanted to do some lessons to learn proper Italian because I don't know proper Italian. And she said, "Where is your family from?" I said, "Naples," and they were like, "No, we're not going to teach you." You know, well, because I said I was from Naples to the South. So yeah, they don't like, not all of them, but they do look down on the South. Yeah, they started leaving because of Mussolini. But you had guys like Toto Rena who didn't give a shit. And the people before him, they were like cavemen. They lived in caves. No, Freeze, that was bullshit with Gotti. That was just a joke. Gotti was already in jail in 1990. But even before that, he would have never. That would have never happened. Gotti would have just took that shit. You're just breaking balls. Yo, Freeze, you have Instagram? Any of you guys got Instagram? No, that's all right. If you want, go to my profile and then click it. You'll see my Instagram, my email and shit. If you want to hit me up privately, if you want to come on and talk about a certain topic, let me know. I have the Discord link, Borko's Discord link. I'm in there if you want to join that and hit me up there because I'm about to head off right now. Yeah, hit me up. I might do another live. I would say tomorrow, but it's today because it's 1:48 in the morning. So maybe another 10 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Well, today. Yeah, the second has media in the title. So if I go live tomorrow, it might be on that channel, but I'll let you know. If you want, click the link on the Discord that I have in this chat right here. Or, yeah, it should be right there. Discord.gg/Borko90. That's Borko's Discord. I'm in it. I'll talk on there too. Yeah, 6:48. Sunny Glasgow. The second channel is in my profile. Just it's serious media. Yeah, yeah. That's me on Insta at CEERUPT. Too serious? That's a good one. Yeah, editing, man, is sometimes it's rough. It's not easy. Some people think it's easy, but it's not. It's a lot of it's tedious. Exactly, Devin. All right, guys, I gotta head off now. I'll catch you guys probably later on. I'll keep you posted. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Have a good day, guys. I'll talk to you later.